And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar right here on BearcatJournal.com. Go see our good friends at Hail Mary's. They're located in Cheviot. They're on Harrison Avenue, right inside the Door District. So you can go from bar to bar with your drinks, but why would you need to do that? You can just hang out at Hail Mary's. They've got 27 TVs, a 9-screen video wall. There's not a bad seat in the house, and they have the DirecTV Sports package. So you can watch all the games. Cincinnati Sports will always be on the 9-screen video wall. Brand new walk-in coolers, brand new draft lines, and of course, ice cold Cincy Light on tap in a 32.8 degree frosted glass. All right, let's get this show on the road. Aaron, we're 12 days away from camp. Football is almost here. And today, Wes Miller, Day Thomas, Baba Miller, Kerr Kriisa on the podium talking some UC basketball. That means, for the first time in a long time, Aaron, the return of everybody's favorite segment, Talking About Talking.
Yeah.
So Wes Miller, he started things off and he started talking about the summer focus. A lot of coach speak here, summer being critical for team development, especially with new players, with the basically prioritizing the new faces, trying to figure that out, building the team chemistry, and establishing a foundation for the playing style for this season. Went on to talk about recruiting in the transfer portal, said that the staff's been actively recruiting, mainly through the transfer portal, to build a competitive roster for the Big 12. We've seen that. The spring period being way different with roster turnover. Team chemistry.
The spring used to be high school recruiting. Like that was the spring. And now they've completely changed it. Like they pushed high school recruiting all the way back to May. Like they don't even go out to events in April anymore. It's a big change in the calendar. And I hear people out there like, why aren't we hearing more about high school? It's a month, like it's an entire almost cycle later than what it used to be. You used to come into April with like a pretty good idea of what was happening. And then you'd get a commitment or two in June, and then it would heat up. And like by the start of football season, you'd get official visits. Now it's not even starting until May. I know they were out in June, and I was asking around about, what's the plan for where they're going this week and who's going to, and it was like, look, they're going out and just watching. Like they're just scouting, because it feels like the way that things have changed, they haven't gotten to do really any scouting on any of these kids. So that didn't happen until June. Now you get a better idea, and things don't even really start. Like July is the new April. So why aren't we hearing a whole lot? Because there hasn't been a lot that's happened yet.
All right, so we are at team chemistry. You have a pretty much new roster at this point, and you have intentional efforts trying to connect players through training, through activities, both on and off the court. They have one-on-one stuff that they do. They had we saw them paintballing this past week, so just some different stuff to try and
golf, paintball,
acclimate the players to one another. Yeah, player development. Summer essentially allows coaches to learn players' natural abilities without a massive structured practice or that kind of thing, and you get to look at strengths and weaknesses, try and kind of strategize how you're going to attack things once you do have that structure in place. Roster versatility. The team has diverse skill sets. You have multiple offensive strategies, including, now we have guys that can play with the back to the basket, for instance, first time in a long time. You have, pick and roll stuff that you can do now that maybe you weren't able to do last year quite so well. You had the roll, but I don't know so much about the pick.
You didn't have the roll either. Who was rolling?
Well, I don't.
For a lob, that was about it.
Yeah, a lot of shitty lobs. you have off ball screens that you can do now that you weren't really able to do last year. A lot of guys that can do a lot of different roles on the team. Did speak a little bit about Tyler McKinley and how he's coming back from his injury. He's ahead of schedule. He's lost weight and should be back with back doing live basketball stuff soon. There was a setback, but
he had a bruise. Like he got hit in the knee and had a knee.
I'm
bruise.
sure there
wasn't. I don't want people to think it's a setback with the ACL.
He's also not at the top of your roster, so you can afford to give him a little extra time to make sure he's 100% before you're putting him. And it's summer, so
yeah,
I get it. Buck Harris, he was talking about how he was targeted for his elite defensive skills, competitive edge, all the stuff that we've heard about. That's nothing new there.
Wes said something. He finally said the quiet part out loud, Aaron. You're a lot more comfortable recruiting kids out of the portal when you've seen them live. Like, we know this is a Wes Miller portal strategy. He much prefers a live observation as opposed to relying on tape.
Teams he's played. Yeah, we know.
Yeah.
Talked about the returning players' leadership. Day-Day, Jizzle. There was a Jizzle mention. With young players like Halvin Zella, Tyler McKinley, critical for leadership and continuity in the Big 12 with those returning guys. GM role, Corey Evans. He's got scouting expertise, global basketball connections, knows how to do roster construction and program organization, but he's not the sole decision maker. So,
yeah, I mean, I think Wes had a really interesting part of the conversation there where, what people think Corey's role is, and then what the actuality of Corey's role is. Corey's not coming in to be the GM in an NBA, NFL sense. He's coming in to be a part of the team, to provide an extra set of eyes, to provide a guy with great experience in roster building, from an NBA perspective, what he was, tasked to do with Oklahoma City. So I think it was good to get some clarity on that, because I think people look at that and say, well, Corey's coming in and he's the decision maker. No, Corey works for Wes, and Corey is another high level piece to the puzzle in how things are put together, as opposed to Wes works for Corey and Corey calls the shots.
National champion Corey, put some respect on his name.
World champion, NBA champion.
Sure.
National champion is not they have a team in Canada, so you got to be more than a national champion.
A team. Toronto's close enough. It's basically Buffalo.
North American champion. How's that?
International talent. You got Baba Miller. You've got Mustafa Cham. That wasn't a deliberate strategy. They're just trying to find guys that fit Cincinnati.
Kerr Kriisa.
Baba Miller. Yeah, another one. Baba Miller and his versatility. He's able to play and defend multiple positions, gives a ton of lineup flexibility. Not a traditional post player, even though he's 7 foot. But we kind of already knew that. He's more athletic, not your post guy. We got that in Slime anyway. Freshman expectations with Sean Abayev and Keshan Tiller. They've impressed people. They are humble. They have good work ethic, and the coaching staff they have high expectations for these guys and what they're able to contribute this season. So you love to hear that for both those guys at this point. They do have some coaching challenges. They have to figure out what they're going to do for minutes for all these guys. You got roughly 10 to 12 players who are going to need minutes somewhere out there on the floor. We've seen Wes traditionally run about 10 guys anyway. So are you going to run 12? I don't know that you're going to quite run 12, but no. I'd imagine you're probably looking somewhere in that 8 to 10 range on a regular basis anyway. Talked about the Georgia game being scheduled, but and he did not confirm it, although he did promise a competitive non-conference schedule. And
they are never going to confirm these things until contracts are signed. Like, the university is never going to confirm a game until the contract is signed. So once the contract is signed, they put it out almost as soon as they get it. So don't worry about that. At least for the high level games.
Then, as far as, and the last thing I had, evolving college basketball, the sports changed significantly, and it requires coaches to adapt as leaders and evolve the staff roles to stay competitive. So, kind of talking about the GM role and different things there. So, that's all I got on Wes. Moving on to Baba and Kerr Kriisa, and they're fun. Those two dudes. Baba said Wes Miller took time to weigh his. Baba said that he took time to weigh his options before he chose Cincinnati. We kind of saw that with the I'm coming back to FAU, one of those. FAU at the Owls. And said he was influenced by his conversations with Wes Miller, who came to Florida, visited him, and shared the vision for the program and what Baba's role would be. Kerr Kriisa, you and Dave kind of talked about it, but said he was interested in Cincinnati for years. He appreciated Coach Wes Miller's gritty style. Said he almost joined last year, but another commitment came up. So he just trusts the timing and feels blessed. They talked about team chemistry. There was initial concerns about how to gel with all these 10 new guys, and the off-court bonding activities. Baba Miller mentioned those made integration smoother than he expected and has helped with on-court stuff. Both players, though, come from international backgrounds. Kind of talked about that a little bit already, but those backgrounds did help them adapt quickly to all the new teammates, to the new system. And they're, used to meshing with diverse groups in these short time frames, especially when you play on, national teams and things of that sort. So this is Kriisa's 6th year, and he's still excited to be playing college hoops. He says he's treating the season with a freshman-like excitement, and he's valuing Cincinnati's vibrant fan base, which he's been to Fifth Third. He is familiar. He understands the assignment. Baba, though, described as a versatile 7-footer and sees himself as a player who can impact the game in multiple ways as he's trying to maximize his potential under coach's guidance. Kriisa says he's learned to prioritize professionalism, body care, and small details over his college career, especially after the injury last year, and he's been focusing on being physically ready this offseason. Kriisa talked about Corey Evans' role, said that had limited direct interaction with Corey Evans, but he does value the NBA experience and perspective that Corey Evans provides, which benefits the staff in roster building in the future.
Yeah, from what I've heard, you've seen guys kind of like talking to him, like that's the like after practice or in times that they're up in the office or whatever. Like guys know he worked for the Thunder. The Thunder just won a title. They all want to get there. So I've heard Corey is kind of, I don't think really any of these guys had a relationship with him before he got here or like during their recruiting process. But I do think they are seeking him out from what I've heard and like, kind of picking his brain.
Makes sense. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. If you've got that, I would worry about you if you didn't. Like if that's not what your goal is, right?
Well, I mean, for those not working with the shot doctor on a regular basis, what are you doing? Kriisa talked about Buck Harris, an old teammate of his.
No, they didn't play. They didn't cross pass. Kerr left West Virginia to go to Kentucky, and then and Buck came in, but they both were at West Virginia. That's I asked that because I was curious. Yeah.
All right. But so the tenacious defender in practice, praises work ethic, improved shooting. We've heard a little bit about that already this offseason. And I did even have that in my notes. Did not cross paths at West Virginia.
Yeah. Ships in the night. Ships in the night. One on the way out, one on the way in.
Baba talked about his growth spurt. He was a late bloomer. He did have a growth spurt at around 15, 16 years old, something like that, which left him skinny, but helped him develop his perimeter skills, playing as a forward. And now he's about as versatile as they come.
He is not thin. Like a lot of these guys. Yeah, but a lot of these guys, even when they get to college and spend 2-3 years in college, they're pretty thin still. He's filled out pretty good. Like he's got a good frame to
him. Baba talked about Jalen Haynes, aka Big Slime, as a versatile post player with above average passing and physical presence. Said he's a challenge to try and guard. I can't imagine anyone's really being able to guard him well on this team. But it's also difficult for Big Slime to do anything offensively because of Baba's defensive style.
Yeah, so length.
Kriisa said playing at Cincinnati as a Mountaineer, he was struck by the electric atmosphere at Fifth Third, which reinforced his desire to join the program. And he says that he was playing with Benedict, Matheroon, as the best player he's played with. He admired his unwavering professionalism and focus, which he was his roommate, so he got to see it firsthand.
Yeah.
Baba said that his 2 years at Florida State provided exposure to high major physicality. His year at FAU allowed him to expand his game, and he's able to combine those things in the Big 12. Kerr Kriisa says he has a competitive edge. We've talked about it on this show. His Luka Doncic moment when he kind of got in his face when they played aligns with Cincinnati's gritty style, and then he did downplay the Luka thing, just saying it was all in-game competitiveness. All right, Kerr, we see you.
He's got a lot of he's very in-game competitive, if that's what he's going to call it.
Sure, we'll call it that. Kriisa with Day and Jizzle, another Jizzle James reference, just saying, said he saw their experience as a positive influence on Keshan Tiller, who already has a professional approach. Good words for the freshman. And said that Kriisa ended the thing giving a shout out to his girlfriend. He loves her.
They cut off my part of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no.
He said, shout out to my girlfriend, whatever. And then he got up to walk off the stage, and I said, you don't do TikToks, do you? And he said no and laughed.
Well, good. Day was the last one to finish things out. He has an extra year of eligibility. Said he was excited to learn that he had that year, especially after an underwhelming previous season, seeing it as an opportunity to improve and lead the team. Look, if you thought last year was underwhelming, I am excited to see what you're going to be doing this season, young sir. Said as a fifth-year veteran, he's taking his leadership seriously, aiming to guide the freshmen and sophomores by emphasizing hard work and staying focused on the upcoming season. We've heard all about that already this offseason, so proof's in the pudding. Said that the team is bonding well despite many new players. Again, with the off-court activities like the paintball, and it's fostering camaraderie, and he enjoyed all of that. Said that the backcourt, including himself, Kerr, Jizzle James, competitive and hardworking. Everyone's getting used to everybody else's styles, and they're all getting ready for the season. So that he is focused on improving all aspects of his game, including shooting, passing, playmaking, and wants to build on last offseason's work with Coach Buckley, a.k.a. the shot doctor, on his jump shot. Said that Keshan Tiller's work ethic is exceptional, and he has a competitive drive, and he does stand out among your typical freshmen. So you like to hear that about him. So many nice things to say about Keshan. Everyone has so many nice things to say about Keshan Tiller.
He's had a good summer. Like, that's what I can tell you from what I've heard. He's had a really good summer so far.
Great. Day said that he admires Kerr Kriisa's work ethic, leadership, and shooting ability, and says that they have mutual accountability and a shared desire to play fast. Says that the addition of all-league defenders Mustafa Cham and Buck Harris enhances the team's defensive versatility, as it does allow them to guard multiple positions. You can switch on screens, things that, I don't know, Dan Skillings was supposed to be able to do last year and didn't. So there's that. Said that he refutes the idea that last year's team lacked toughness. Does say that
I disagree with him.
And and says that he refutes the idea that last year's team lacked toughness, emphasizing that small details and finishing games are the focus this year to improve outcomes. So
they lack toughness.
Those things, those things contradict as well.
Right. Toughness is finishing games and paying attention to the small details.
I'm saying
that is toughness. Like it's not. And look, players think when they hear toughness of like wanting to fight somebody. That's not toughness. Toughness is figuring out how to get to the finish line of a game with one more point than the other team, and not letting the small details give that other team the edge. That's toughness. Functional toughness.
The only thing I will say for Day Thomas is he did not lack toughness, as every time he drove to the hoop, he went flying all the way over here. Like, the poor guy was getting mauled down low and didn't stand a chance. I can understand where maybe
he was not the point of that question.
He did not lack toughness. Let's just make sure we're clear there.
Yes.
Says that Corey Evans, when talking about Corey Evans, he has interacted with him. He's learned from he's trying to learn from his NBA experience with the Oklahoma City Thunder, particularly about professional work ethic, with guys like SGA and anybody else on that team at this point, now that they're all NBA champions. Said that he does echo Coach Wes Miller's observation that freshmen like Keshan Tiller, Sean Abayev, they are humble, they're hardworking, early to workouts, and they're showing strong potential. Said that him and Jizzle, who arrived at UC together, they share a close bond. They treat each other like brothers. They hold each other accountable, and they spend a lot of time together off the court. He tried to avoid directly comparing this year's roster to last year's, instead saying that last season they did have shortcomings like finishing games, and through hard work and better execution, things look better there. He did say he is faster than Keshan Tiller, though he acknowledges that Tiller does have competitiveness, and things are positive there. And hypothetically, he thinks that he would beat Coach Wes Miller 11-2 in a one-on-one game, probably allowing Coach a 3, talk trash, and then he's just going to lock him down. That's all I got.
Wes Miller did play minutes on a national championship team, one of the best teams of all time. So I think these guys underestimate the head coach a little bit. When he was like, now they destroy him, but when Wes was a player, he was pretty good. Not great, but he's pretty good.
I think you've called his defense, though, in particular, Day great, not good, great. You got great defense against good ish.
I think Wes would hit more than 1-3 in a game of 1-on-1.
No, he gave him 11-2.
Yeah, well, that's that in 1-on-1. You're playing by ones. A 3 counts as 2. Yeah. So you give him a 1 made 3. I think he'd make 2 or 3 made 3s,
which is silly because that's a 4, not a 3.
Anyhow, all right, that there you go. A lot of talking about talking today. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Potentially back, but not positive. That's the Nightcap, brought to you by Hail Mary Sports Bar, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya!